when you look at retention cohorts, you don't slice it.
Mhm.
Okay, you don't expect CRM team to tell you, hey, what is the retention cohorts of only those people who are purchasing to you by your email channel. No.
Reach for growth, reach for more. Performance marketing hardcore. Tune in, listen, hear the lore. Reach for growth.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Reach for Growth. I am your host Gamal. Uzair, welcome aboard.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So you're moving house. How does this treat you?
Very busy, very occupied. Just last minute shopping. Yeah, you can't say no to your wife. So that's the most
for
important
sure.
thing, I would say. So yeah, busy with that.
Yeah. Cool. So Uzair, my intention for today's episode is to have a discussion with you about CRM. First, can you tell me what is your story with CRM?
Yeah, so actually, it's very weird, okay, because I never started my career with this thought that I want to do something in CRM, okay. Let's go back to 2012, 2013, even 2010, okay, when I was in my studies, university studies over there, you did not have any such field which was about digital, okay. So I was more into research, content writing and all of these things. I've been doing that freelancing since 2009, and I went into doing something related to quants. So I did my master's in economics, okay, and I wanted to become a data analyst and data scientist. I was on that route. In fact, my first job was actually for a data analyst back in 2013. Started from there. I was working on their B2B sales funnel, okay, doing some reverse engineering around how many leads should we get for the people, for the sales agents over there, what is the conversion rate, all of these things. And when we were done with those analysis, we actually did 2014 planning for that, sales target, all of these things. And they were like, oh, you have already done the analysis and everything. Why don't you create a system to actually start tracking these agents? And okay, let's do it. So for me, it was like from a visualization standpoint, but later on it went deeper into actually sales cycles, sales stages and all of these things, and eventually going out of visualization data part, entering into CRM. So started with data analyst, went into CRM unknowingly, and from there onwards, I've never looked back. What has changed is definitely the scope. I worked for both B2B and B2C. My first 4 years, in fact, actually, even today, if you ask me, I have more experience in B2B CRM rather than B2C CRM. Okay, so that is something that has changed. I've been swapping between them, B2B and B2C, like every 3 or 4 years. From an industry-wise, I guess, that's the most important thing. I worked for like SaaS, FinTech, logistics, hospitality, e-commerce, retail, so varied industries over there. So yeah. It was not CRM initially, it was data first and then CRM.
This is quite surprising for me because when I checked your LinkedIn profile, I thought you are more into like the B2C CRM e-commerce kind of focus, but now you told me that you worked on B2B. So how was the shift from B2B to B2C?
So I'll first answer your question, okay, why did you not even notice that? I think primarily the reason is that this region is predominantly B2C. In the last 2 years, I have seen a lot of SaaS startups in this region, okay, going out, and eventually you will see a lot of B2B noise as well in the market, okay. But since my first few years of experience actually with mostly with the North American markets, with the Chinese market over there, so it's mostly around B2B stuff over there, mostly organic and all of these things. So that is where I had the exposure, okay. How this has happened, I think it's more about me, okay. I think I had this idea that I don't want to stick to an industry or to a particular field, and I need to keep swapping for the first 10 years, okay. And that is why I always looked for opportunities that were exciting, whether it was B2B or B2C over there. So I think it's more about the drive rather than anything else that kept me keep changing B2B and B2C.
But why is that? Why do you want? Why you have this fear of focusing or narrowing down on one industry?
So this field is still evolving. Okay, what we know as CRM is an ERP back in 25 years ago, 30 years ago. It's not the case now. Okay, now the CRM is further broken. You have multiple platforms into it, okay. You have marketing automation, which we mostly call as a CRM, okay, which is just one part of it now, okay. Then you have personalization, recommendations, okay, CDP is part of it, that also connects. It's an entire ecosystem. If you're going to B2B, personally my choice is all I prefer always working for a B2B. Okay, because the tools that you get over there, they simply blow your mind. Okay, right now there's a lot of talk about intent data. Okay, buying signals. Okay, it becomes more complicated. In B2C, you can still go for impulsive buying. You still have very simplified persona. Yes, the quantity of data used, it's all in masses, it's in volume over there. In B2B, it's not about the quantity. Okay, you'll always find it's like 1,000 people rather than 1 million people over there in B2B versus B2C. So it's the depth of the tools, okay, the number of personas that you can create, okay, and the complicated buying cycle. So you have to identify who's the decision maker, who is the influencer over there, and you need to come up with different communication plans. Everyone has a different trigger to it. When do you activate what? You have like proper funnel around marketing qualified lead, sales qualified lead, you have inside sales, then you have sales enablement tool, all of these things. So apart from all these stages, within these, then you have different tools to work around. Let's like data enrichment, intent data, all of these things. So B2B excites me more. Okay, and yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. And I've seen also that you have spent some time working with Ashaya in their CRM side. So my question is, what would you say the mistakes that you always see when it comes to CRM for e-commerce or D2C brand?
Okay, let's not say it was for Al-Shaya. I would say in general, because I worked for Rocket Internet as well. Yeah, I worked for Al-Musafir, which is again in the hospitality segment for B2C. I guess the first thing is around the expectations from CRM. Okay, it's very important. Like, you cannot take it as someone that can drive the revenue at a first touch or first acquisition, which how most of the companies actually attribute target to. They are like, hey, what is your share of CRM revenue out of the total revenue, which is mostly about attribution. So I guess say like the first thing that I see is that if people are looking for attribution, my answer is no. It's not attribution, it's about incrementality. It's about the uplift. It's about the experiments that you are doing using CRM channels over there. It's about the people that you're moving among the buckets. If you're doing RFM analysis, if you're building retention codes, people who have done purchase in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. For me, it's more around incrementality and uplift rather than CRM revenue. Okay. So I guess that's the biggest problem over there. Number two, as I mentioned you earlier, people usually denote marketing automation as a CRM. Okay, which is not the case. Okay, if you want to build a real strong CRM MarTech stack in any D2C e-commerce, then you need to look beyond marketing automation platform. Okay, then you also need to look at loyalty suites that can be integrated, personalization tools that can be embedded within your comms over there. We don't really give a lot of emphasis on email validation. Okay, we keep sending out junk people to irrelevant emails, bounced emails over there. So you have proper tech stack around that as well. Deliverability, again, it's again a topic. You don't see companies actually working a lot on deliverability and looking at Postmaster or any other tool that can help you out with how your user base is landing. So I guess the first thing was around the incrementality. The second thing is about expanding the CRM scope, not just marketing automation, but it's a combination of other tools as well. Okay. Now all of this is needed because obviously when you're in any D2C e-commerce, you are actually you have huge database of customers that is just lying over there. So spamming them is not a solution. Okay. And because your ultimate objective, or for any other business, it's revenue, you put CRM in the same bucket as well and you evaluate it in the same manner, which shouldn't be happening. Okay. You need to understand that it's about incrementality. You need to bring in more tools, and then you move to the real primary KPIs, which is around retention cohorts. Okay, which is about the platform performance, engagement of the people over there, how healthy they are, is there any fatigue that is happening. So yeah.
So let's have a discussion right now, because I guess you mentioned a lot of things that we can go deep dive into it. So let's first discuss attribution versus incrementality. And I want to take two point of views. The first point of view is like for a business owner or an e-com head, someone that looks into it from pure investment point of view. And the second perspective I want to take discuss with you is about having as someone who's starting in CRM, how they should think about attribution and incrementality when it comes to CRM, and how can they present this to C-level and all of that.
Yeah.
So I guess the first point, if you come to me as like C-level for e-commerce and you talk to me about, hey, incrementality and attribution and all of that, the first tendency that we always face is that people doesn't have the patience to start and listen. What they understand is that they have been running CRM for the last few years, and there is a certain percentage of revenue comes from CRM, And they want to increase this percentage.
Yeah.
So how can you tackle this?
Surprisingly, I was having a very similar discussion just 2 days ago with one of the company, and they had a case. Okay, so like in CRM, you have two sources of revenue: promotional revenue and automation revenue. Okay, so they just went live with the tools, and now they're deploying all these automations and all of these things. Okay, the idea was that because we'll start deploying automations. Okay, and CRM revenue will go up, the conversion rate will go up, and all of these things. So they are just probably like 2 or 3 months into the journey now. So they came to me and they were like, Uzair, we did everything. We did the best integration. We have the best team available, but we are not getting the desired results or desired outcomes. So my first question was that when did you implement it? So they were like, just 3 months ago. Like, it's too early. So the point that you have raised patience, that is missing. Okay, so it takes time to actually mature a CRM. Okay, to everyone I say that it takes at least 1 year to implement a solid CRM foundation in which you have everything, tools and everything, and then it takes 1 year to actually monetize it, materialize it. Okay, it takes 2 years for your CRM system to mature. Okay, by system I mean the strategy. By campaigns, by team, by learnings, by experiments, by data. Okay, yes, you might have quick wins. Okay, I'm not saying that you should not be driving your business towards revenue. Yep, that is the ultimate goal. But if you really want to see a successful CRM, you cannot judge it in 1 month or 2 months. Okay, there is a timeline to it, probably around 2 years of it. Okay, now within that time, what you can do is, yes, you can always have your business running as it is. Okay, but you can always put 20%, 30% of your time, efforts, energies, budgets in experimentation, in tactical campaigns over there. Okay, so I'm like, okay, don't disturb your 70-80% of the revenue, let it come the way it is. Use the remaining resources to roll out some small changes over there. Okay, within that time, maybe you can test out, okay, how many comms should I send? So you don't need to send it out to everyone. Okay, maybe you can just extract 20% of your audiences and do some testing on them, experiments on them. While running them, just make sure you also have a control group. So you actually have 3 variants to it: variant A, variant B, and then a control group. And that is how you start proving your point. Okay, whether there is any incrementality or not against a control group, whether there is any uplift between the variants or not, variant A or variant B or not. Okay, you do this while you are not risking your 80% of the audiences. So, yeah.
So, okay, allow me to be the devil advocate here. So you're telling me to keep 80% of my resources business as usual and 20% purely for CRM. Like, if I'm thinking about this from budget allocation point of view, it doesn't make sense because I can spend the same amount of money, the 20% on paid, and I have in my mind a clear ROI or a clear ROAS that I can expect out of this investment. And again, I'm not saying this as my view, I'm saying this as the devil advocate.
Yeah.
This is usually what you are going to hear when you're going to propose such things.
So by 80% of it, I meant CRM resources, not the overall company resources. Okay, I'm saying that have whatever your CRM team is doing, okay, they'll do 80% of the work. Okay, they need to take out some time, 20% of it, and start preparing some business cases around incrementality, uplift, experimentations, all of these things.
Okay, now it makes sense. And the other thing was regarding personalization versus going mass for the number of communication. So are you here talking specifically about a specific channel, or are you talking in general?
Okay, so number one, by personalization, let's just move away from first name, last name.
Okay.
That's not personalization. I would say that's standardization. Okay, that should be basic to everyone. Okay. Now personalization, yes, I'm talking about overall personalization. Okay. See, CRM has multiple channels that can ingest those personalization elements. Let's like you can easily create those blocks within your email over there. Okay. You can personalize your NF comms over there. Okay. The way I say is that, see, don't treat CRM as a system that just has 3 or 4 channels in it. Okay, you need to consider CRM as a strategy, as an approach. Okay, if you change your if there is a shift over there, how do you see it? Then things will start changing. Then you'll be like, okay, I don't necessarily need to look at those channels over there. Those channels would be just one part of CRM strategy, which are enablers over there. But a lot of things that CRM team can go and help others with. Okay, because in the end they have access to all the data. Okay, they should be controlling the data. They should be guardian of the data, and they should know how my segments are responding to it. So they need to work in conjunction with marketing team, maybe with performance team in helping them out. Okay, how can we make your acquisition cost effective? Okay, what can we do on top funnel that can actually make it better over there? They can work with product team. and they can identify areas where both the teams can help out and increase the conversion rate, maybe on, let's say, like product pages, maybe on homepage over there. Okay, but that will only happen if you are actually changing the way you are looking at CRM, not just email pushes and in-apps, but as an approach. And you're expecting CRM team to come and tell you, hey, you need to own this data and tell us what the customers are, what are they doing, what is the next best step for them, okay, what drives ultimate retention over there, what are the 5 things that they do that they will make them a purchase. Okay, one example was, so I worked for at Tulsa, I was working for a brand, so our target was to actually drive first purchases over there. What we saw that the probability to make a first purchase increases if the person has viewed 10 SKUs. Okay, if you look at it that way, so my CRM strategy would change. I will not be pushing them to more and more sales emails. I would be pushing them into viewing more and more products. Okay, so my personalization, my recommendation strategy would change. Okay, I would try to put up more things that are more relevant for this persona, and people are or will be interested in looking at those images. Okay, so the more they move towards 20 SKUs, they will be closer to the first purchase.
But I'm just curious, how did you get through this insight that tells you that customers has higher probability to convert if they have seen 10 or 20 SKUs?
Yeah, so you can use product analytics tools. Okay, let's look at Amplitude and Mixpanel, which can help you out in building this. Okay, what are the key steps that are necessary for that? Okay, even if you want to do it at a basic Excel level, you can always gauge, okay, that, okay, whoever has made a first transaction, how many pages did they view initially? Okay, but the first thing is around your first hypothesis will be proven through a product analytics solution, because there are like 10,000 things that people can do that can help them go towards. Okay, but you need some AI algorithm to actually help you decide that. And if you want to go into deeper, then you always need to extract your raw data and tell you that what is happening over there.
And you look at purely on CRM, or do you look also into the overall users of the website?
Overall, yeah.
But why?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need to go out of the CRM approach that CRM is only emails and pushes. Okay, no, I can actually affect everyone. Okay, because I have the data. Okay,
you have the data of CRM people who are converted to become a CRM customer, or do you mean the overall data of the whole
customers
platform?
Yep, overall customers. This is what I'm saying. CRM can see everything what the people are doing, what they're experiencing over there. Reachability is another topic. Okay, how many of them can you reach out through email? How many of them can you reach out through push, SMS, apps, all of these things? So I'm not restricting them towards this reachability. I'm looking at, okay, what people are doing overall. Okay, and how many of them can be influenced directly through CRM. Someone who cannot be influenced, then you need to look at other channels. You might need to do some retargeting ads for them. You might need to include, you might need to bring them through a product onboarding experience. Okay, so if something that I cannot affect 100% of the audience and product can affect 100% of the audience, then I need to redesign my homepage in such a way that I push the people in viewing 20 products first, rather than pushing them towards a welcome voucher.
Interesting. And okay, so now let me summarize what I have understood from you so far. So first point was actually to look at CRM as a collectively, don't look at it as individual channels.
Yeah.
And collectively, you look at it as a whole strategy, meaning you set a goal, one big goal for CRM in general, and then you start tailoring the strategy to achieve this goal as a collective channels.
Correct.
And then deciding, are you going to push on in-app or push notification or newsletter will come after.
Exactly.
Okay. So now I understand this
100%.
Okay. The second thing before I leave you to go deep again, the second thing which I believe is important is CRM is the safeguard of data. Whether they can reach it or not, this is not the topic, but they can have access to all the data. So hypothesis should be built on the whole platform level, not on a channel level, and then you can roll it over specific channels.
Correct. Yeah, 100%. See, when you look at retention cohorts, you don't slice it. Okay, you don't expect CRM team to tell you, hey, what is the retention cohorts of only those people who are purchasing to you by your email channel. No? You look at overall retention cohorts over there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're actually, the KPIs are around overall users over there. Okay. And that is how it should be. When you're calculating CLTV, lifetime value. Okay. You don't do it just for a segment. You don't calculate CLTV for the people who are just coming through that. So that's why. Number two, see, from now these marketing automation platforms or CRM platforms, they are also evolving. Okay. Now channel is not a problem. Okay. You can also create custom or lookalike audiences. Okay, so someone you can't reach out through these CRM channels, or whether you can always create and export them into Meta or Google or anywhere else as well.
Correct.
Okay, so that's again not a problem. Okay, so if you think that, okay, I think it's more a question of about affinity. Okay, if someone has an affinity of greater than 0.7, let's say like for a push, then you should be reaching out to them with a push notification. If they have an affinity of greater than 0.7 for an email, then you should be reaching out through an email over there.
And what's affinity?
So affinity is the probability of someone who's opening or responding to that thing. Okay, so let's say if you send them 100 emails, and how many times have they opened your email? So let's say like if 70 out of 100 times they have opened your emails, they have a higher affinity. Their affinity is 0.7. So it makes sense to send them an email, because if you send them an email, they'll open it. 70% of the chances are that they will open the email. So that is what that you should be looking at. Okay, if someone who does not have this affinity, then you should be coming very low on them and try different channels over there or different approaches to make them respond to you.
Now, I want to ask you, how can you prevent cannibalization between, like, for example, paid and CRM? Because at the end of the day, on paid, you have prospecting campaigns that's basically targeting everyone. And you have CRM campaign, which also, in a way, there is an overlap when it comes to the audience. Have you tested a use case to try to set boundaries and to ensure that there is an effective budget allocation?
Yeah. So you cannot avoid cannibalization unless and until campaign objectives are not clear. Okay, it depends upon the campaign. Okay, for me, segment comes later. What you're talking about for me is a segmentation problem. Okay, whom should we reach out to? Should we reach out to this person or not? Okay, for me, segmentation comes later. First of all, what comes is on the primary level is the campaign. What campaign do you want to do? What is the campaign objective? Okay. If the campaign objective is such that it will be a mass campaign, and it can affect everyone, then there is no possibility of avoiding cannibalization over there. Okay, but if a campaign strategy is such that no, we are going to just experiment or test it out, or we're just going to send it to this particular users only. For example, let's say like you build RFM segments and you have a very loyal customer base over there. You roll out a campaign and you're like, oh, we'll just do this campaign for the loyal customers only. Now that is a campaign. The objective is very defined, and then you can build a segment around it, and then you can set up then you can set very clear rules. Okay, this is something that we'll only roll it out through CRM, and no other channel will do it. Okay, if you roll out any other, let's like a welcome voucher campaign, mostly on performance marketing, which is like, okay, I need to get signups and first purchases over there. Okay, now you roll it out and your objective is very clear over there. Then whoever comes in, you are like, see, whoever comes in from this, now CRM tools, they can also detect the source of installation, okay, or first source, all of these things. You can easily remove them. That let's not attribute it to CRM for the first 10 days or 7 days, 5 days, whatever the criteria is. Okay, one such example, let's say like in FinTech. Okay, in e-commerce it's very easy. Okay, because in e-commerce you are showing your SKUs, your product feed over there, people come and they buy. Okay, but FinTech gets technical because you have this KYC stage in the middle. Okay, for example, you are into stock trading or crypto trading over there, or even in banks. You can do sign up campaigns, you can do lead gen campaigns over there. But as soon as someone creates an account, they cannot experience the product unless and until they have verified themselves. Okay, now that becomes tricky. Okay, so in that case, the attribution window becomes smaller because see, you have brought the leads. Okay, so performance marketing work is done. Okay, now you can't continue showing them ad and asking them, hey, you need to do your KYC. Okay, you need to, for example, they were on a car listing app or a car rental app. Now you can't run ads saying them, hey, upload your driving license over there. Okay, but you attach a timeline to it. 2 days performance, if they're able to do it, it goes to them. After 2 days, CRM comms need to kick in and they need to start setting up KYC reminders. Okay, you need to submit this document, you need to validate this document over there. Now, if someone converts from there onwards, then it goes to CRM.
Okay, let's back to the point when we were discussing attribution and incrementality, but let's take the other perspective of someone who's starting on CRM, how they should think about this.
Okay, someone who's very fresh.
Let's say 2 years of experience.
2 years, I would say they're still very, very new in this. Okay, and they would actually not be able to judge between that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the problem is, it's not a problem, but like the way they'll be working in an organization, they'll be molded in such a way that they will be working on this model only. Okay, their default would be like, hey, we have to always measure ourselves against the CRM revenue. I guess it's more about the mentorship. Okay, It's more about going out and actually looking out what is the right way of judging your department, judging your team. I think it's part of the self-journey experience as well, self-learning experience as well. They need to understand that, okay, they should not be just accepting whatever is coming up. They also need to go out, look at what are the best practices.
Yeah, I guess this is very important.
This is very important, okay? And that is what differentiates between someone who will always be a normal execution person and someone who would actually evolve as a managerial role. Because if they can't question the processes, KPIs, all of these things, then
they can't improve.
They can't improve, okay? So I think it's something that they have to start looking outside, okay? If this is the right KPIs, I should be following, or is there something else to it?
Okay, and I guess we are heading closer to the end of the episode. So I want to ask you about your vision regarding how do you see the future of CRM for e-commerce and D2C?
Okay, I think I would say with this AI thing, okay, it has become very easy to create content, whether it's textual, whether it's creative, whether it's visual over there. I would say that with the ease, okay, I see that there would be a time when it will become even more difficult to actually create the quality of content over there, okay, and it will become challenging for CRM too. Okay, how do they incorporate this content in CRM technologies? I have seen a lot of tools now bringing up this AI campaign editor, campaign content creator over there, okay, but I think to be honest, I haven't used it, okay, because I still see that, okay, we can produce better content outside of this, okay. So I think one thing is that with this AI thing, okay, I think the content creation process will change for CRM. It is changing, but it's not to that level. Okay. That's one thing. Okay. Number two is I see that maybe CRM could become modular. Okay. By modular, I mean that, see, right now I get a tool and I have to buy everything. Every part of CRM.
Okay.
I need to buy an email. I need to buy this. I need to buy this. I need to buy this. Okay. And without this, a CRM cannot function over there. With modular, I mean to say that it will be broken down into modules, and then you can decide whether you want this or not. For example, it's like you want to get the best of email, you can get that. You can, if you don't want push, you don't need to pay for that. Okay. So that modular approach, it will start coming up. Okay. That's the second thing. The third thing is I've yet to see a tool that can do everything in one thing. Okay, right now you need to get probably a CRM tool for email pushes and everything. Then you need to get a loyalty suite. Okay, then you need to get a CDP, and then you need to get maybe a personalization recommendation. All of these together. Okay, I think now CDP and CD or customer engagement tool, they have sort of started coming together. So you might start seeing marketing automation tools that are now partially CDP as well. At least they're able to handle 360-degree customer view. They're able to build integrations. They're able to import audiences and export audiences. So they are doing this. So I think like some of them call them CDXP, like customer data and experience platform, all of these things. So I guess that merger has already started happening between campaign management and data part. But I think it would go beyond this, and probably you will see some tool that will have an embedded, I would say, loyalty solution to it as well. And again, I would say that could become a modular approach as well.
Yes.
Okay, so this modular and more ecosystem, that is something that I would say that can change it.
Okay, perfect. And how can people reach out to you, Uzair? And I guess you're providing outsourcing services, right?
Yeah, I'm on there on LinkedIn. Okay, and I write by the name of CRMDXB. Okay, so feel free to add me on LinkedIn.
Okay, so perfect. I'm going to add the link of your profile down on the description of the video. Anything you want to say before we finish?
No, I guess like thank you so much for inviting me, and yeah, I guess like there are a lot of more topics that we can discuss. So yeah, happy to come back again and talk more about CRM.
Yeah, for sure, we're going to have another one. Okay, thank you.
Reach for growth, reach for more. Performance marketing hardcore. Tune in, listen.